Hello, 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 everybody. How are you today? It is Sunday, January 7th, and with it being Sunday at 2 o'clock, that means it's time for our extra card. And this time we're using the Be Mine suite because that's the suite of products we used in our Wednesday class, our free with purchase class. This is Harmony Stamps with Michelle, and I'm Michelle. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I found all the things that I'd lost in the video yesterday. It's so amazing. They're right in front of your face and you don't even see them. I think it's just the magic of live TV, as soon as as soon as the camera's running, you can't find anything. And the cleaning cloth was on the floor next to me, so I could have gotten it too if I'd seen it. Oh well. Everything is back where it should be, and that's really the important part. Yay! All right, so the host code is on the screen. It's also in the description. If you want to make a purchase, I would love it if you would use my host code. If your purchase is going to exceed $150, though, don't use the host code. Just make sure you're purchasing underneath me. That way you will get the rewards yourself because those host rewards start at $150. And that would qualify you for 3 level 1 or 1 level 2 and 1 level 1 celebration choices as well. And we're going to be getting more into the celebration stuff on Wednesday. We're going to be working with something from the mini catalog as well as the celebration paper, that most adored paper that I love so much. But today we're going to be back with the Be Mine suite, and there is no celebration products on our stuff today, but that's okay. It will be good. Alrighty then, let's just do one more review about how that free with purchase class works, because you can still get those make and takes for 2 each of these 3 cards that we did on Wednesday. Let me bring them up closer into our vision. There we go. So this one, when the make and takes means you're getting all the paper and embellishments to do all 3 of these cards twice. You will need to provide your own stamps and your own inks, but the paper and the embellishments I will send to you with a $35 purchase before shipping and taxes. I love this one. It's so fun. And then make sure I can see your information. You have to use the host code in order for that to work, but because I have to be able to, be able to get the extra embellishments to make it work. And in order to do that, I need to have that host code in place, unless, of course, your purchase is over $150, in which case, just make sure you are shopping with me, Michelle Barnes, out of Pueblo, Colorado, and everything will be good. All right, let's remove the banner from the screen and start talking about what we're doing today. So the Be Mine Designer Series paper has 6 sheets with front and back designs. And so I just did front and back, 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 front and back. The colors that go with this suite are basic black, daffodil delight, lemon lime twist, petal pink, pool party, and sweet sorbet. So I love these samplers. They are so much fun, and I've got something new on them since the last time. I've actually, in this case, used the punch as well as the stamps to show you how you can really get a variety of uses from the punch, the builder punch that comes with this bundle. Since I had already cut out these red bees while I was designing my first cards to get the hearts, I did something different, and I'll be showing you that today. I wanted to at least use those up, and that's why I have red bees instead of yellow bees. But I've used the bee also as a conversation bundle, bubble, not bundle. So this little bee is telling this little bee to be mine. How cute. All right. And then this is just the same paper, so if you want to see them larger and more fully, I do have them here. I used this one on our design today. I used this one on our design today. And I used this one on our design today. And we did use this too on today's design. And then of course this one is also on today's design. So I used 4 different sheets of paper, and this one is also on one of the cards. All right, so let's get the paper out of the way. There we go. This is the bundle. Now, if you wanted to purchase the whole suite, it is $75, and that comes with the Be Mine stamp and punch bundle, which that in itself is $38.50. It has 24 different stamps with the sentiments: Be mine, I love you no matter what, you're as sweet as honey, happy Valentine's Day, you'll always be the one for me, love you, and you make my heart buzz. And I think I've used every sentiment with the exception of these 2 so far on the cards that I've been playing with. But I think the I love you no matter what would really go good with this bee face, kind of like the side eye. Then we have our closed smiley, we get our antenna, we get our bee trail, our flight path, these 3 little hearts, this heart, a winky smile, a wide open smile, the bee stripes and tail, the sting, and then a solid color. So if I were stamping on white, I would use this to create the solid color and then do the black on top of that. I've got 2 stems for these 2 flowers, but in the very first card I did, I used this stem and put this heart on it and had the bee carrying it to the other bee. I'm not sure where that card is at the moment, but I will find it before before the mini catalog is over and show it to you again. You also have this beak honeycomb, the wings for the bee, and then this large heart. So if I were stamping the wings on white, basic white, I would do this in a stamped off probably, and then this on top of it to give that color, you know, but instead I'm actually just using color cardstock today. So that is the bundle. The bundle is $38.50, which would qualify you to get the the make and shakes for this week. You would need to make that purchase by 11:59 on Tuesday, because the next one will be a different set of cards using a different bundle. This is how I just stamped them all onto basic white so that I can see them quite easily, how they stamp, how they should look when you put the ink to paper, so that I can have a better idea when I'm designing, which is another thing I really like to do. Okay, I also collect, so these pouches are what the dies come in. They come inside this, and I put them on magnet sheets and then put them inside my stamp cases. But I like to use these envelopes for my scraps of paper, you know, so that I know I already have them all in one place to use with this paper when I'm using this paper. I wanted to show you that as well. Okay, so I need things like bee bodies and bee wings and antenna spots. And so what I did for the card today is, I need my punch back. Oops, down here. So this is cut to 1.5 wide. So from here to here is 1.5, and it just went lengthways down the paper, so it's 11 inches. And this perfectly fits the bee body. I like to do pre-punching, that way when I'm going to design, I have it all ready to go. So I'm just going to very closely together do several bee bodies. I'll finish that out later. But then I have these extra spots here, which are actually perfect size for the little heart. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do it again on this side. And look at that. I will finish that later. Let me get the bits that don't matter out of here. But, uh-oh, one of my hearts went missing already. Either that or I cut it funny. It's okay. And then for these, both of these hearts, this is 1 1/8 of an inch wide, but also 11 long. And I'm going to bring it, so I've got it equally measured And you can just straight out do this to 1.5 too if you are not very good at lining up, but that just drops those out. And then I flip it around the other way. And that way I'm going to make use of that spot here on this end. And that's how it looks when I'm done playing with the red strip. All right, so then I like to keep my bits, my pieces, together in these little containers that helps me keep everything organized and ready when I'm ready to start crafting and playing. And then I keep my colored hearts in this one, and then I have my white hearts at the top. And that can go away. And I'm going to put those in my little pile over here for when I'm ready to close everything up for the day. So the card we're using today is also going to use the handmade tag punch. Handmade tag punch. Yep, this one. I actually stamped one, or punched one in the Sweet Sorbet and one in basic white to create the card. And this is what it looks like. So it is a gatefold card, and I put my sentiment on the white one, and I offset it over the red one, so I have basically a drop shadow. And then I use this heart to hold the whole thing closed. You could also do this on a belly band if you would prefer, but at this point I wanted it to be like this. So I use the honey pots on the front, and then you can put basic white. I would just do a small strip on each if you're going to, because this is actually scored and needs to be. So if you want more than, you can't do one big white piece over the back and have this work function the way it's supposed to. It's really easy to do, but it definitely is exciting. So I'm going to open it up. Are you ready? Okay. I have a bee, and the bee pops out. Look at that. So a bee can stand up and hang out, and the bee is on a wobble spring. And this is so fun. I love this card. And then we have our little latch here too. And we're going to make this today very easily. This was actually inspired by Karen Titus sometime back in November or October, maybe even as far back as September is when she put that together. So first of all, what is a wobble spring? I get these on Amazon. You can literally type in wobble spring, and they just have this pieces. This is what I attach to the bee, and this is what I attach to the paper under the bee, and I'll show you that. But it basically makes it so that whatever's on it is going to be able to wobble around. And this is the first bag I have ever bought. I haven't done too many wobble spring projects, but there's quite a few in here. I would say 50 to 100 at least. So you can make quite a few cards with those, and they are fun cards. Very fun. We are going to be using the embellishments that go with this suite, at least the adhesive backed ones. We're not going to be using the bordered ribbon, which I don't have right with me today anyways. But these are the adhesive backed hearts and flowers. They have 5 different color ranges, with red and petal pink, with petal pink and Sweet Sorbet. So this is Sweet Sorbet, not just red. Daffodil Delight and Basic White, and Pool Party and Daffodil Delight. And we will be using those on our card today. And so I have basically an 8 by 5.5. So it's 5.5 this way and 8 inches this way. I have scored it at 2 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. And so it's going to look like that. And because I'm using multiple sheets of paper, I just went ahead and I cut them to 5 1/4 long. And then I cut, it's basically works out to 1 3/4, which makes it, what was it? 3 1/2 total. Okay. And so I'm going to put these 2 in there. These 2 are going to go there, and these 2 are going to go on the front. So I'm going to get my seal out. I'm working on being better organized, so I'm spending less time looking for things and making sure I have things before it goes live. Oh my goodness. There we go. Sometimes it just doesn't want to come out of the roll, and you have to encourage it. All right, so I'm just going to put this on the outside panel here. There, that's good. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this. And those bees are so cute, especially with all their little flight paths. I'm sure this would make an air traffic controller nervous. Now we can't put these in just yet because we have to put in our little piece here. And actually I need my trimmer because I did not score this. All right, so this is 5 inches by 1 inch. And I need to, at 1/2 inch, score. Let's make sure we have the scoring blade and not the cutting blade. So I've lined it up to 1/2 inch on this side of the cutting blade channel. And then I just once up and once down. Then I'm going to fold it under and line that up to the 4. And then I'm going to drop it down by one of those teeny little lines. So 1/16 of an inch is what I've dropped it by. And score that. That way it's just under 4 inches long when everything's folded. All right. Then I'm going to put adhesive on each side of the bordering. Then I'm going to fold it in, line it up where I'm going to want it. This is going to be the mechanism that makes our bee pop up. So I'm going to push this just a little bit to the right of that score line, and I'm going to set this in right there so that when we open it, it's going to pop it out like that. Okay, and then it will freestand quite well. Let me get this back where it belongs, and whoosh. There, now it's going to hold. All right, now we can put these two on the inside. And I do want to kind of make sure that they are the cut edges to the cut edges. That doesn't quite seem right. Nope, I think it's this one. Yep, there we go. All right, so this one's going to go on this side, and this one's going to go on that side. Even though they are separated and there's going to be stuff in the way, I just kind of like to make it as good as I can, matching with the way it was originally cut. All right, so I'm going to just kind of ease this in here, line it up with the designer series paper on the bottom, and give an approximate similar border on each side. And then I'm going to press it down. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this strip and do the same over here. Oops. Without adhering it to everything but the paper that I want it to go onto. And I barely have it touching the paper, which is how come I can still move it. Once I'm satisfied with where it's at, that's when I want to press it down. All right, so now I've got my 2 pages inside. All right, I do want my stuff on the front, and let's see. That's interesting. Apparently these didn't come from the same. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It will work anyways. All right, so we do want this to be facing the right way. Okay, so our bees are in the right direction, so I'm going to close this up. I'm going to line it up with that line of paper down here, right here. And then side to side, get it as even as I can. and then rest it down to the top, and if I like it, that's when I'm going to seal it down. And then I'm going to put glue on the back of this one and do the same thing on this side. Let's try and do it without doing that. All right. There we go. Looking good. All right. Now, the centerpiece is going to be using these two pieces of paper. So this was that designer series paper that I used one of the scallop contour dies to create. It's got the two little spaces, okay? But before we go there, I actually want to put the words "Be Mine" also in Lemon Lime Twist across the cardstock and at an angle. Make sure we have it going in the right direction. And you don't have to be super precise because a lot of it is going to be covered up, but just try and get a similar angle. And then one more down there. And then I do want to use my cleaning cloth to get that ink. I'll put a little bit of water down just to help grab up any little bits of that ink off of my mat. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to feed it in from the top. Oh, and this is 2.5 by 3.5. And I'm going to feed it in from the top. It's a close fit, but it should be able to go in. And then I'm going to open up that bottom slit and work the paper in through it. This is the trickiest part. There we go. All right. And then when I'm happy with its location, I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to literally pull it off with my fingers, and I'm going to lift this up and making a little pouch, right? And then stick a glue dot in there. Otherwise, this is going to slide, and we don't want it to slide. Okay. I got more goodies in here that I need to get out. Oh my goodness, get the goodies out. Okay. We'll be using those later. I'll be using that one later. All right, so now we need to put together our bee to go on the inside. So we're going to need our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I am also going to use my, my black Stampin' Right marker, which that one seems to have moved somewhere, so I'll grab this one. Always want extras of your black Stampin' Right markers around. So the reason I want that is because I do want to make sure I can fill in the black from the bee stripes and tail or stinger. Actually, let's put this way because we are done with this one. And we will move this guy over to there. And I'm giving it a lot of ink, but it's still going to have, because the colored cardstock is very thirsty, so it's not going to ever give you super full coverage unless you have a very, very juicy pad, which is why I wanted my black Stampin' Right marker. One of the reasons. All right, so I'm going to line it up here just like that. See? And then pull down. And as you can see, it's not quite as filled in as I would like. So that's why I'm going to get my brush tip. And I am going to use my close-up glasses. Wow. Still amazes me how much of a difference it makes. And then I'm just going to use my brush tip and lightly towards the edges drag it across. And I'm being very careful, and I'm actually extending it out to the edge. So I start with the top and the bottom lines and then fill in the middle. That way you have less of a chance of making your curve not right and looking funny. And then I'm going to go in and fill in the rest. And that little edge on the tip is what I'm using more than anything. In the middle part, I'm having more of that brush tip, but on the lines, I'm just literally using that edge of the tip, the very top. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it again so I can get this part of the body. And then I'm going to get it right up to that edge and fill in. And then this I'm just going to give it a little bit like that. So now we have a very black bee, and I have a little bit of black ink down there. So as you can see, we now have full coverage bee. And I'm throwing things around because that's fun. All right. I am also going to put the little face on the bee. So I'm going to get my little closed eyes smile. You can pick whichever face you want to put on it. And there we go. And then in this white heart, I'm going to do my antenna. These little cute little antennas. All right. Sorry if my head is in the way. It is a very small little bit to fill. So there we go. And then I need to put my wings on my hearts. So I'm going to get the wing pieces. And line them up and stamp it down. And one more. One more for the road. There we go. Sorry, I think in lyrics and then they come out of my mouth. Which, by the way, we are going to be singing today. We're doing karaoke out in the county at the Urban Bar and Grill. So if you're in the Pueblo area and have nothing else to do, or just have a desire to get out and sing, come join us. We would love to have you. All right, so I'm going to get my glue dots, and I'm going to put a glue dot on the end of my antenna. In this case, I'm going to touch the piece to the glue dot towards the very bottom. And then I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to put my bee down on top of it and press. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my wings. I'm going to put a glue dot on the stamped side of each of the wings. All right, and then I'm going to lift the body up, place it where I want it, grab that back up. We don't need pieces falling on the ground, and have it about the same. All right, and then I need a glue dot on this lovely little heart that my little bee is holding, and that is going to go right about there. And then we're going to use the bullet end of our Stampin' Write marker and have little hands and arms. To hold our heart. There we go. And now for the fun bits. Okay, we need to place this end on the paper in the center. So I'm going to peel back the backing on that and place it down in the center of the whole kit and caboodle and press. All right, then we need to pull this backing off. Come on. Sometimes having tweezers can help. There we go. So now we have the adhesive is on that, and it is ready to hold our bee. So make sure we are up in the right direction, the flowers are in the right direction, all of that looks good, and we're going to drop the bee on and press it down. And now we have our wobbly bee. I think he's so fun. Okay, so now we need this card back again, and we need our glue dots again. I'm going to place one glue dot here, and another glue dot here. And then we're going to line up our little bee, centering it as best as we can. There we go. Press it down on each side, and then when we open the card up, it's going to make our bee come out and play and offer you a heart and say, "Be mine." But when we want it to close, it just closes up like that. Now, like I said, you can do a belly band. We're not going to do that. Today we are going to use our label, that Handmade Hugs. And so now I need my next ink. Starting with the Sweet Sorbet, I'm going to stamp the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment on that. And instead of being a square, I'm going to have it diamond. That is the orientation that I'm stamping to. I'm going to come just a little bit, cheat over to the side a little bit, okay? Just like that, because I want a little more space for the other heart to hold it in place. And there we go. Now we can put the Sweet Sorbet away and get out our Dandelion or Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to make some bee trails because bee trails are fun. Okay. So the first one, let's get it more inked. We're going to go kind of at this downward angle. And it's going to go a little bit across the words, and that's going to be okay. All right. And then the top one, I'm just sort of figuring out where I want it based on what's happening on the label when I'm looking at it over the top. Okay. So I just have two bee trails partial. If this one ended up not going off of the paper there, so like on this one, I had to extend it. So I just grabbed the back end of that stamp, this end, and put ink on it and lined it up and stamped it down to attach to that end to have it go off of the label like that. But this one I didn't need to. All right, so now we want to put some adhesive on this side of the Sweet Sorbet label. And it's not even fully up to the half line because I don't want it that far. I do want to place it so it's a drop shadow going to the side. Okay. And then for this, we're going to use our mini glue dots. And all right, so this is the side that's going to be attached to the card, as well as just right up in there a bit. So I'm going to put a mini dimensional here and one here and one here. Okay. Oops. Sometimes the papers just don't want to cooperate. Alright, actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me close up this ink pad so we don't have any ink catastrophes. Those are just no fun. Alright, so now that we have this, we're going to want this to be approximately there. So I'm going to set my heart in as far as I can without actually covering up the sentiment with the glue dots or mini dimensionals. Okay. And then on this, we're going to put adhesive just on the sweet sorbet part from the center out. And I do use extra on this one just because I want to be sure that I have plenty of adhesive to hold it to the paper, but I don't want it going far enough that it's going to go over the middle line, okay? Because I want it to be able to just open. I want this heart to hold it in place and hold it closed until you want it open, and then the bee can come out. Yay! All right, now we get to embellish. And so we're going to grab our flowers and hearts. And I think I'm going to do a little different this time. So I think I'm going to do this big blue flower here in the center of this heart. And I think that's going to show up a bit better than that petal pink did, although it's showing just fine. And then I did use red hearts in here, but I think I'm going to do a blue one in this little bit, and I will do a red one in the top. Oops, bring it down just a little bit. There we go, press it in. And there is our fun card. Can you believe that? It's not that hard. It's actually very easy to do, and then just pops right out and says, "Hello, be mine." And it's so cute, especially when you get it going really good with the wobble spring. Okay, so that is just something extra to do with your Be Mine Sweet products and your Be My Valentine bundle, stamp set, and Bee Builder Punch. Yeah, there we go. Now it's going to stay better. Okay, so if you do want to get the make and takes for the cards we did on Wednesday, which are these 3 cards, you can do that by making a purchase with that host code that's linked in the description. $35 or more before shipping and taxes, and then I will send you the paper and embellishments to make 2 each of these 3 cards. I look forward to hearing from you. Also, I do have a newsletter that you can subscribe to. The link for that is also in the description below, and that newsletter comes out a minimum of once a week. And every week you will get 1 free PDF on how to make a card. Oh, that's the other thing. Make and takes come with a PDF for how to make these as well. So you'll have all the cutting directions and everything. And they are cute. I fell in love with this from the minute I saw it. So I'm glad I finally got to play with it some more with you guys. And once again, there's today's card as well. Okay, this is Harmony Stamps with Michelle. I'm Michelle, and it has been a pleasure hanging out with you. If you like what you saw, please let me know. If you have suggestions on other ways that you would like to see papers used or other products you'd like to see me demonstrate, please let me know that as well. Have an amazing Sunday, guys. Bye-bye.